If you fish the Long Island Sound, listen up. Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club is officially live over at bayratsandbuoys.com, or you could visit sandcitycharter.com, get it on the homepage or the podcast page. If you want to fish harder, compete smarter, and be part of something bigger, this is it. We're bringing together passionate anglers from New York and Connecticut across the entire Long Island Sound. This club was built by anglers for anglers, and this is more than just a club. It's a movement. Members get access to exclusive tournaments and invitationals, live meetups, member-only merchandise, insider content, and access to the Bay Rats and Buoys brand, captains, and partners. So head on over to bayratsandbuoys.com and sign up for the club right now. There's no better time. What's up, everybody? Happy New Year. Welcome back to another episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. This is episode 64, season 2, in the studio on New Year's Eve. Hope you guys had a great Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is that you celebrate. That's behind us. I hope you had a great holiday season. Tonight, we close out 2025. We bring in the new, and I am super excited about what we have to look forward to. Not to mention just 105 days away from opening day for striped bass here on Long Island. So the countdown is official. It's on, and it's real. Just like last week, when I told you guys to head over to bayratsandbuoys.com or to head over to sandcitycharter.com, well, guess what? The members to the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club, the first 10 people that signed up, I could not have handpicked a better club than what we have right now. In fact, if nobody else signed up, this club is officially badass because of the captains and the boats that are in this club right now. I am so excited. And Frank, kudos to you. You were the first one. You had an exciting week last week because not only did you get a slip at BYC, but you signed up for the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club, and you were the first member. You were the first. And you came to me at the Ward Melville High School Fishing Show last year and came just to the show and told me you came to the show just to meet us and greet us and say you love the podcast, and kudos to you. We love you, man. Happy New Year. You were the first one to join. But that doesn't leave out the other 9 people that joined, like Pat and Eric and John. And I even got a list here. I got them right here. I'll pull it up because I'm going to thank everybody that did it because you guys are absolutely awesome. Daniel, Howard, Rob, I mean, I can't believe it. And thank God that Andrew and Mike joined the club, because if it wasn't for them, I would have the smallest boat in my own club. When I tell you the captains and the boats in this club right now are officially badass, I'm willing to challenge any other fishing club right now in 2025 for opening day, April 15th, 2026, a striped bass showdown in the Long Island Sound. You want it? Contact me. We'll make it happen. That's how badass this club is going to be, guys. So if you want to get involved in a movement, this is going to be huge. Trust me. This is not just some, text chat or some Facebook group. This is going to be the real deal. And I am so excited. I can't begin to tell you. I really can't. I was overwhelmed with the response just hours after putting it up live on the site. I didn't even, so we're closing out 25. It was such a busy holiday season. I was in the studio yesterday producing other people's podcasts, for the new year and doing a lot of stuff. We had special guests in here. We had Playboy Playmates in the studio yesterday. I mean, I love what I do. Don't get me wrong. Do I love being a captain and being on the water? 100%. It's one of the greatest things I do. I love it. I can't get enough of it. I need to do it 12 months of the year. I'm working on that. But I also love being in the studio. I love the environment. I love what I've created here. I'm in my happy place. I really am. And life is good. And I'm excited to wish you guys a happy new year. I'm excited to have a drink tonight and relax and enjoy and bring it in, you know? And I don't have to worry about chasing fish or being in the cold, you know? I'm going to have a fun time with the family. The kids are at a perfect age. And life is good. So for half my life, I was an entertainer. I was a professional dancer. I was a DJ. I was a master of ceremony. I was the MC on the microphone at many clubs across Long Island. And a night like tonight, I would be up in Mohegan Sun right now, setting up on stage, getting ready for tonight's performance with Kool and the Gang or Aretha Franklin, or working with some big act up at the Wolf Den at the Mohegan Sun. And they wouldn't even put us up at the Mohegan Sun. They would put us up at the Marriott down the road. And they paid for it all because their rooms, you had to book 2 or 3 nights to get that, to be in the hotel. And I mean, I have some insane stories. I really do. From my past, as you know, starting in 1990 at the China Club. It all started for me in 1990 at the China Club when this kid from Northport moved to Manhattan and said dancing is going to be my first career. That was absolutely insane, you know? And it did start at the China Club because that's where Rob and Wendy really recruited me to get onto Club MTV. And when I was a dancer on Club MTV, that's when it really all started and opened up the doors to a lot of things that happened, you know, in the next 25 years. After that, are in the books. Awesome. So I love my second, you know, wave of life here, the next 25 years. And it's going to be all on the water, fishing and boating. And that's it. And that's why I'm super passionate about everything that I do. But being that I brought up the China Club and tonight is New Year's Eve, everybody's going to be drinking, you know? So back then, I learned so much from the bartenders that were some of the best bartenders in the world. And even to this day, I'm still friends with waitresses from the China Club, like Taisia. And they were amazing people that we stayed friends with over the years. And Billy was the best bartender at the China Club, hands down. He was the best bartender. Now, I have friends that I went to high school with that I brought to the China Club that sat with me and did shots with legends in the rock and roll world, like, what's his name from Led Zeppelin? His name is escaping me right now. But I want to talk about Billy and bartending and what I'm going to drink tonight. So back in the day when I worked in the nightclubs, I would drink, let's say, Captain and Ginger, you know, and that rum hangover, I don't know how the Pirates did it. I really don't. I probably should read up and look into it a little more. I mean, why did they drink rum? And why was that the drink of choice on the ships? I know why they wore a patch. They wore a patch because when they went below deck, they had a patch on so that they could take the patch off, and one eye was already dilated to go from the light to the dark. And I don't know if you knew that. You know, I look some of this stuff up. I told you, I'm a sponge. I love learning new stuff. Then emceeing in the nightclubs, one of the great bartenders that I worked with over at Tommy's place at Minnesota's in Long Beach introduced me to a 007, which is what I'm going to have tonight, which is what I have when I go out. You know, I went out with Eric and the boys and Keith and Scott and a bunch of captains, and we had a great dinner. I told you at Mihana in Woodbury, and I'm going to go to the bar. I'm going to beat everybody there. I'm going to be the first one there. I'm going to order my 007, okay? That's Stolio, 7-Up with a splash of OJ. And it was so clean that the next night after drinking that all night, being on the microphone at the club, working as an MC, I wasn't hungover. So the next day, it wasn't until, you know, the rum, forget about it. I'd have to wait till 3 o'clock in the afternoon until I would feel good to be able to start the day again. That was incredible. But once I switched over to the 007, it all changed. It was awesome. So I stick with it, you know. I'm going to leave the studio now. I'm actually going to go get a bottle of Stolio. So I have it for tonight. I don't think there's any at the house. So I'm going to stop and pick that up, and I'm going to cheers you guys and wish you a happy new year, because we are closing out 2025 with a bang. We have so many people. Me and Corey are so grateful and so blessed with Sand City Charter. We have so many people to thank. We really do. And I probably should have a teleprompter and a list of everybody that I should be thanking. I really should. I feel it, it comes from the heart when you say people's names and you mean it. And instead of doing it as a big group, but because it's such a mass of people, and we had so many people on the boat this year, so many new people. And I got to say, some of it has got to be because of the podcast and the expansion of it and the popularity of it throughout Long Island. It's an overwhelming response, and we're very grateful for it. We really are. We're not trying to be YouTube sensations and be viral, overnight viral YouTubers and anything on social media. We put it out there. We put the content out there, quality content, recorded in 4K, recorded into good microphones, recorded in a studio, done professionally, and we put it out there so that people can enjoy it. That's it. That is the goal of Bay Rats and Buoys, That's how it all started, on my boat, 64 episodes ago. Unbelievable. So me and Corey are very grateful, Sand City Charter, and we thank everybody that came out and fished with us, not only this year, but in the past. We have so many repeat customers that we're friends with, and we love them. We have such a great time on the boat. One guy made a comment on YouTube or in his review, because you can see on Google, there's Google reviews, and somebody wrote a comment saying that the music was as good as the fishing. And there's a lot of people out there that won't play music on their boat. They, tell people, shh, don't walk around, don't make noise. I could tell you stories about those people. But we're not out there blasting bass. In fact, we'll talk about that in this episode. We'll talk about the sound system upgrade and what we're going to do. What we have on the boat now is that portable head unit that they sold at West Marine. That's mounted to the console up top, underneath the rod holders. And it is absolutely perfect. Remote control, perfect volume, never too much. I've never had somebody say, hey, can you turn it up to the point where we can't talk? But the kicker to this thing is I could shut the boat off out there at night and put on red lights on this thing, light the whole boat up, and have the batteries off and not need anything out there. Once we're anchored up and chunking, and we don't need to see what's on the sonar. We wait for the reels to go, whoosh. You guys know the sound. We love it. We can't wait for it. Oh, man. I can't wait for those summer nights just sitting out there in shorts and a T-shirt, not even needing a sweatshirt, not to mention a Stony Brook Seawolves hockey sweatshirt, but just not needing a sweatshirt at all. And hopefully this year you're going to be wearing the Bay Rats and Buoys sweatshirt and representing the brand. So I really can't wait to be in the warm weather. And it's funny, the Playboy Playmate, Allison Jordan, that was in here yesterday, was from Seattle. Her husband is from Comac, and she comes to Long Island, and she's just like, it's too cold here. And I was like, but, do you come in the summertime? Because it is, wintertime, it's cold here. But listen, I went to the car wash today. It ain't freezing out there. You're not walking across a sheet of ice. Ron Tom Suden's got the ice rink in his backyard. Another great fisherman from the New Rochelle area, the New Rochelle side of the Sound. And I talked about the people that came on the boat, like Steve and Ed. And I mean, I should have been prepared with a list. But we had so many great people that when I looked back at the pictures, just scanning through guys here in the studio that never caught a striped bass before, I put them on bass. They were like, that's it. I can't reel in anymore. You reel in the next one. I mean, the rods didn't stop going. And they were the Tony Maja rods this year. We were super lucky. And it's a great connection. He's a great dude. He really is. Love talking to him on the phone. We have some real fun stories. And he knows everybody in our area, and everybody knows him, and it's Junior that took over the biz. And, it's great hearing the ins and outs of the industry, because you talk to some of the people Some people say they had a soft year as far as the business is concerned, as an overall, whether it be a tackle shop or a charter. Weather-wise, it may not have been great for everybody, that you couldn't get out on those windows that you needed to, which is why we're creating the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club and the tournaments that we're going to have. It's not just going to be a one-and-done type one-day tournament. So we have really exciting news. And we can't wait for the first meeting for Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club to announce everything to the members directly, in person, what we are doing. We are going to break it to them first. They are going to be the first ones to find out. Eric already found out at dinner, and it was like one of those things that when I told him, he stopped everybody's conversation that was going on at the table and said, "Hey, did you guys hear this? It's that big, and it's that awesome, and you guys are absolutely going to love it." And I can't wait. I really can't. Told you last week we're bursting at the seams. We are. But again, in due time, everything rolls out. Doesn't just get said and done instantly. Plus, you got to wait until April 15th to get out there and go fishing anyway. So we do have 105 days to prepare for everything that we're doing. And me and Corey get really prepared this time of the year. We were here in the studio last week working on the equipment, working on gear and fishing gear and getting it all ready. And it's all out there, nice and warm in a controlled environment here in the building in the studio. And we go through everything. When it goes back on the boat, it's, everything's perfect. We're ready to roll. April 15th. So April 7th, we'll start fishing. April 15th, we have our first charter. And, people book us for the first week of April every year just to be the first ones out there to get out there, hold up a bass, get rid of that winter, wipe the winter off. And get out there. The water's cold. We're lucky when that water's 52, 53 degrees because I always say the perfect temperature to start the season off for the bass to really start chewing is like 55 degrees. I think that's when they get out of their lethargic stage and really start to feed again. But I got to say, every year we get on them and the water temp is not at 55 degrees. It's cooler. And we can't wait. So what else for 2025? I mean, we talked about recently that lightning storm that I got caught in, and that brought up another conversation that I had with a local captain who said he was in that same storm. And there was another summer storm that came through that I got a call, and I had to go rescue this center console with a young couple on it in their late teens, early 20s. If they were 20, that was, that's on the high age. Parents wanted us to go get them. The boat broke down right outside the Byram River, and that's on the Connecticut side. And they were going back under the Bayville Bridge, so I had to get them back into Oyster Bay and hit West Bay and get under the bridge. Well, I'll put a picture up here of the clouds that I was heading into because I was racing out there. As I'm driving out to get them, I'm watching the lightning over the buildings in New Rochelle. So I know I'm driving into the storm. And again, 30 miles each way of that storm, you have the chance of being hit or being in the actual lightning storm itself. So that's something I learned and I put out there in last week's podcast and the podcast the week before too. And when I tell you, when I pull up to a boat and have to hook up to them and get them underway, could be 30 seconds. I know what I'm doing. All right. I am prepared. I am ready. I pull up to you. I hook up to you and I say, let's go. We got to get out of here. That storm is chasing us. I never towed a boat so fast in my entire commercial towing career and got this boat up on plane and was towing them as fast as I could to get back into Oyster Bay, just to get back into the bay, just to get out of the sound because it was getting gnarly and it's only going to get worse. And here's the thing. The storm's coming from the west. And I got to get into Oyster Bay. I got to pass Sewanaka. I got to go past Billy Joel's house. I got to hit that no-wake zone. And then I got to go into West Bay and head to the Bayville Bridge. Holy shit. When I tell you, Everybody was contacted once I got into the bay saying, we're in the bay. All right, this is good news. We're in the bay. Once you're in the bay, you feel somewhat safer than being out in the Long Island Sound to some degree. We got to Billy Joel's house, and the sky got lighter, not darker, as if we were almost in like the eye of a hurricane. But when I tell you, I felt like I was in a monsoon. This was the craziest torrential downpour, thunder and lightning that I've ever seen. I stayed under the bridge after dropping them off. I stayed under the bridge over there for a half an hour taking photos and pictures. I'll show you here on the screen of the lightning that was going on. And I'm saying, I'm going to go back into this? I got to go back now. So holy shit. We got to Billy Joel's house, and I got him in a stern tow. And I said, we got to change the plans. There's no way. We couldn't even see around the corner we couldn't even see the Bayville Bridge. You couldn't even see it. The wind and the rain that was coming at you was absolutely, holy shit, you don't want to be on the water. And I said to them, hey, we were all drenched. The three of us had just drowned rats. And I put them on the hip and I brought them over to the Teddy Roosevelt ramp there. And we sat there for a while. Their parents came. Their parents were there. And, I mean, we were only there maybe 15 minutes, and this thing had passed us, cleared up, and I was able to get them under the bridge and over the way we had to go. But cleared up as far as being a monsoon. Didn't clear up and being out of danger of the lightning and stuff. So you'll see in the pictures here, I still sat it out over there for like a half an hour letting this thing go because I was only going to drive back into it to head east. And, this is what happens out there on the water. Oh, man, those were the darkest clouds that I drove into in 2025, for sure. And got there, got them out, got back. But by the time I turned into the bay and started going west again, now I'm going back into the dark cloud. It was crazy. So share another one of my crazy moments out there with getting caught in bad weather. And, everybody thinks it's always sunshine and catching fish out there. Well, that's what makes you a captain. And, man, do you learn. You learn. And I learn from a lot of other people's mistakes out there, too. I see a lot of mistakes out there that I pull up on scene. And that's why when I train people, I really can educate you on where not to go and what to look out for and what not to do, like anchoring your boat up from the stern. I'll never forget this. I worked for the Freedom Boat Club, and I'm out training new members. Look, they got rid of Santa Claus on the Diet Coke can already. I'm so excited. And I drank all the cans that had Santa on them, so he's gone. I pull up to Sand City training these people, and I'm going to teach them how they could put the boat on a mooring, okay? They don't know how to anchor. They've never dropped an anchor before. They don't know what a mooring is. So I'm going to pull up. Sure enough, there's another member sitting on the boat, and I pull up to him, and I'm like, hey, Cap, could you do me a favor and just not anchor the boat up from the stern and get the anchor line on the bow of the boat the way it's supposed to be? He starts screaming at me that the boat smells like somebody threw up on it. And he's yelling at me, and here I am training people. So diffuse the situation. I say to them, all right, let's just go over and see what this is about. This is going to be fun. And we pull over to the guy. He's darker than a raisin. He's a white guy, darker than a raisin, lays in the sun all day on a Freedom Boat Club boat at Sand City every day. And the fresh water in that boat, you all know what that's like. When that goes stale and that is funky, if you don't put the tablets in and you don't flush out your fresh water and that water turns to that sulfur smell, there's nothing you could do. I would just say, hey, Don't turn on the sink. I'd drain it out. I would empty it out. This guy went swimming, came back and took the freshwater hose and put it all over him. I could throw up right now just thinking about that and how disgusting. And he's screaming at me that the boat smells like somebody threw up on it. Nobody threw up on it. The water, the fresh water. And how many people out there have had that happen to them, you know? So I'm sure he had that was his learning. That was his lesson that day. And, listen, you got kids working at a dock and dock hands and dock staff, things like that. There's oversights. Things like that are going to happen, But after that, I got to say that, every tank had been flushed out and try to keep the fresh water fresh in there because that is disgusting. That's the worst smell. That really is. So I share all my fun, exciting times with you on the boats, guys. Not everything is catching fish. However, we're 105 days away from opening day of striped bass season. So I did mention that the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club had started by putting up the link on the site so that you can go and register. We sent out welcoming emails to everybody, and the response was awesome. And like I said, the first 10 people that signed up, if nobody else signed up for the club, this club is officially badass. And I want to make a shirt that says that. I mean, these guys are absolutely some of the best. Not only great captains, but great fishermen and great dudes with amazing boats. Amazing boats. I can tell you 3 or 4 of the boats right now require mortgage payments. I mean, it's just tremendous. And all center consoles. Not all. Pat's boat is badass. He's behind me in the marina. And, I mean, that boat goes Montauk, tuna fishing, anything. That boat is just badass. And forgive me, Pat, I don't know the model. I don't know the make and model of it. All I know is that it's big, it's heavy, and it's a serious fishing vessel. I love it, and I see it every day. So, Frank, you are going to have an epic season with this new boat of yours. All the hard work you put into it. Andrew is working on his boat right now. It's in the garage. I mean, the boat fits in the garage. Thank God for that, because that means I don't have the smallest boat in the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club. I was this close. Everybody's boat is tremendous, and oh, my God. So if you want to join the club and you want to get involved and you want to be, founding member status is limited, and once it's gone, it's gone. You could head over to sandcitycharter.com. It's on the homepage. You could, there's some stuff to read about it there, and you can click on the logo, and it says the secret code to join is to click on the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club logo. You click on that. That'll take you to the link to sign up and register. You could also do it on the podcast page at Sand City Charter, which you could also access via bayratsandbuoys.com. But we are really excited to kick off that club and give you guys some breaking news to start off 2026 with a bang. Again, 21 days until the boat show. You got the Ward Melville show March 7th and 8th. You got the Copeg Fire Department Marine Unit Fishing Expo on January 31st. We're super excited to be there. And I'm telling you now, we can officially call out clubs right now for April 15th if anybody wants to have a striped bass showdown to kick off 2026 with an invitational or some sort of a tournament or just a competition. That's it. Bay Rats and Buoys is still going to host its Striped Bass Invitational in June. That's going to be a multi-day event this year with a party afterwards, with an award ceremony and everything. So this year it really steps up. Last year I stepped into it and did it. Was happy and willing to accept the loss. And it was an insane tournament. It really was. It was epic. And I can't wait for this year. But that's what makes this club even more special. The people that are involved, like Matt and the guys over at J&M Seafood. You guys are absolutely fucking awesome. We love you at Bay Rats and Buoys. Thanks to Jacob, Captain Jacob. He's an incredible captain out there in the Peconic with the Davy Jones Shellfish Company. Absolutely crushing it with the oysters. That kid amazes me every year with what goes on and how he upgrades and keeps just going up the ladder, which is what we're all trying to do. We all try to, go up the ladder every year. We don't want to go down. We're moving forward. And I hope 2026 gives everybody a happy and healthy, a prosperous year, that we could all get out there, enjoy our boats, fish really hard, compete even smarter, really want to compete against everybody this year and have some fun doing it. And there's no better way than joining the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club. I promise you, this is going to be this is going to be a movement for sure. This is a lot bigger than just a club. And I can tell just by the way it started, it's off to an amazing start. It's something you're going to want to be involved in for sure. And we have huge news that will probably break, I want to say sometime in February. If I don't break it at the boat show in 3 weeks, it'll be sometime in February to roll it out in time for the new season. And again, very grateful for all our listeners, everybody from Brooklyn, from the West, and all the people that download just the audio version, and all the Facebook admins and all the groups that we're in. We couldn't do it without you guys. We really couldn't. I don't rely on YouTube. YouTube nobody goes and watches podcasts on YouTube. It's not a podcast platform. It's really not. You'll see a lot more shorts and stuff out of us now. I'm going to start for the next 21 days. I'm going to be putting up short clips from last year's boat show because we sat with we sat with Steiger and Cape Horn and some of the best boat companies, the HCB. I mean, we sat with people that actually mold and make the boats like Steiger, and just awesome people. We're on the show. And we're going to start to put those short videos out so you guys can see that on social media as we move into 2026. That's going to be our new thing. We do have enough content to last a whole year now from what we shot in 2025. That's why we didn't put a lot up. I mean, the content each week for the podcast is enough. But we're going to be putting out short clips and new stuff every single week. So stay tuned in. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you can. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. We're on all the platforms. Wherever you guys listen to the podcast, the audio version, we greatly appreciate you guys. You guys are absolutely awesome. Like Kalo and Manny from the West and Gene, I can't thank you enough. You gave me one of the nicest gifts on my boat. And this year, can't wait to use it. We're setting up some new golf stuff here in the studio now. Right outside my door, I got my own gym, and we have an area where we hit golf balls, full swings, and we're a bunch of fun guys. We like to have fun. Life is fun, and anybody that knows me in the boating industry knows that we like to have fun out there. There's a time to be serious. There's a time when shit hits the fan and we're out there leaving the harbor on, full plane, up on plane, getting out quick to go rescue somebody that's taken on water and, some sort of an emergency. That's when you got your game face on, That's when it's time to be serious. But all the other times, we're having a fucking blast out there. We love what we do. We love fishing. We love our area. We love fishing out of our area. We love returning to our area. We love everything about it. Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club is live right now. You can join. Doesn't matter if you're on the Connecticut side, you're on the New York side. If you fished in Long Island Sound, this club is for you. If you want to compete smarter and be part of something bigger, this is it. Join the club. We'll be happy to have you. Trust me. And all the other clubs out there, it's time. It's time to compete, and we're ready for it. You want to go April 15th? Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club is calling you out. Let's go. Any of the admins want to get in touch, reach out to me. We'll be happy to organize it and make a big deal out of it. So that's what we have looking forward to in 2026. Lots of big things. Wishing you guys Happy New Year. It's New Year's Eve. Go out there, drink, have fun, be safe. Spend lots of time with the family, bringing in the new year. And I'll see you guys back here in 2026. Captain Gage signing off. Episode 64 in the books. Over and out.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. Be sure to visit sandcitycharter.com and follow Captain Gage on all our social media channels.